Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Fermi Paradox. When last we left off, we are just barely making ends meet with the Demoni, because I think they had 3 resource crises last time. But they're doing okay. They're not dead yet. The Vulcans have created a radio signal reaching out to the stars, and we have a brand new species, the Ash, here, which are these cute little furry, worm, no, not worms, they're fish, furry fish. Alright. They're in the shell age. Aw, that's cute. Alright. Chemical composition of the ice crystals in Rigel 7 gives the polar caps a greenish color. Okay. So let's go to the humans as they reach the nuclear age. Okay. Hopefully this ends well for them. They're in pretty utopian society here. We've managed to fall below our 100 synthesis here because we bought the Ash, which were 60 synthesis, I believe, if I remember correctly. So we're gonna probably go for power, I think, here, unless we just go for advancement. Their growth is pretty high. I think I might want to try to cull that a bit. Yeah, let's go for power. The nuclear age. Heading further down the warpath, the humans can expect to see assault rifles, jet fighters, and napalm, not to mention the mother of all bombs. Yeah, that one. Okay, and we're back above 100. Alright. Let's see if we can get them... If we can lower their growth here, I think we'd be in pretty good shape. Let's see here. I don't want to raise their potential casualties any more than I have to. Humans establish a new plagued empire. Alright, lower growth. That's what I wanted. All ancient gunpowder artillery weapons of the Earth are all fired at once to celebrate the virtue of the human motorized infantry. Okay, alright, cool. Cool. Human movies represent harmony on Earth. That's interesting. I mean, they are our most utopian society, ironically, here. Let's lower their growth a bit. Foul pestilences reduces the human population. Alright, how are the Vakai doing? Enlightenment. Ah, that's nice. The holy city. Ah, the city that worships the dark below. A city that is rumored to have sacred power starts drawing spiritualists, priests, and sages from all corners of Kepler 4. When these holy pilgrims come together, they exchange valuable cultural and spiritual wisdom. Okay. Alright. So, we could spend, which would raise them out of dystopia. We could do regular development and get free synthesis. Why not? That sounds great. The dominant religion of the Vakai claims the holy city for itself. The teachings of the city's writers are absorbed into the church doctrine. Okay. Let's go ahead and lower the harm potential here. And we probably need to be increasing their growth, honestly. The Vakai steel lancers lay down their steel pike and abandon the art of war. Is there life after death? Okay, lowering potential casualties, but what we really need to do is up their growth. The principal food on Kepler 4 was a delicious, tasty, but toxic plant. The Vakai were completely ignorant to the long-term effect of their poisoned meals. Because of this, many members of the population suffered an early, painful death. Yikes. Alright, what's the new tech for the Esh? The Esh reached the Aquaculture age. Well, that's cool. The Esh successfully domesticate the flora and fauna of the oceans of the ice planet Rigel 7. Oh my god, look at them! They've got... It's like Cubone. They've got like a little skull on their heads now. Is that the skull of their mothers? And they've got seaweed wrapped around. Oh, that's cool. Alright. Let's see, so do we go for power? Do we go for wisdom? I mean, wisdom is free. We can try to get them caught up to everybody. Maybe we do wisdom. That sounds the best. The Aquaculture age. The Esh began keeping records using a complex system of stone tablets that could preserve cuneiform with writing even underwater. Okay. setting them up for success moving forward. How are the Demoni doing? I think let's go and make sure they have resources. I need to lower their growth as well. Yeah, increase their tech. On Vexus, the work of a remarkable digital expert is widely circulated among the Demoni. The Demoni mourn the death of a beloved sage principal. Okay. Let's see here. The uranium wars during the Demoni nuclear age were a period of deadly conflict over the remaining radioactive deposits on Vex. Extinction! Yay! Alright, 3 degrees. The global temperature of Vexus rises dramatically, exacerbated by greenhouse gas emissions from the Demoni. The impending climate collapse may mean the end of their species. The future of all coming generations rests on your shoulders. What you do now, we children can't undo in the future. Ah, Greta Thunberg. Well, Thunberg? I hope I'm getting that right. Thunberg. One of the most damning and also jarring speeches I've ever heard in my life. If only we can turn it around and if only people would listen. Okay. Close call is 60. Minimal survivors. Complete extinction. I almost feel like going for minimal survivors. We're going to take a hit to the tech, which is fine because I think they're the highest tech of everybody. I don't really want to do close call just because that will take 60 away and doesn't actually do anything here. Whereas if we could wipe out all but what is a point of a billion? A million? All but a million lives, we might be able to start fresh and be okay. So let's go ahead and go for minimal survivors. The measures taken to reduce climate change are insufficient. Vast landscapes turn to desert and many cities are swallowed by the rising seas. This is what happens when you guys choose capitalism over your own lives. Let that be a warning to the humans. Oh boy, okay. All the way down to... Okay. Oh, so it would be... Of course, it would be 100 million. Right? I guess so. But it's 91 million regardless. Okay. Still in the digital age. Growth is at a -6. Let's get resources. Demoni pre-crisis artifacts represent harmony in Vexus. The Demoni establish a new sage group. More resources for them. That'll be good. On Vexus, Demoni climate adapters establish new resource management methods. Do we go for tech? Do we go for growth? I think I'm going to go for tech. Their growth is already in the negative. On Vexus, the work of a remarkable scientist is widely circulated among the Demoni. Let's take the dystopian route. An ambitious Demoni sage group conquers new territories. Let's lower their harm potential a bit. Conflict between 2 major Demoni sage groups is settled peacefully. Hey, the Vulcan are in a new age. The nuclear age. Alright. Okay, let's see. Wisdom for 10? That's not bad. Power. Ooh, if we do power, though, we get 20. I'm kind of leaning the power here. Heading further down the warpath, the Vulcans can expect to see assault rifles, jet fighters, napalm, not to mention the mother of all bombs. Let's do that. Okay. They're actually doing pretty solidly over here. Not gonna lie. I mean, the potential casualties are pretty high, but they've got Utopian side. Their resources are fine. Their growth, it could be cold a little bit, but it's okay. Human plagued empires. What are they doing? Probably dying. Oh no, it's a paradigm shift. Good. The jet age. The invention of passenger jet airplanes revolutionizes travel. What might once have been a journey of months can now be accomplished in less than a day. Humans all over Earth look forward to experiencing this incredible new technology. So kiss me and smile for me. I don't know if I know this one. No, so kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. Oh, 'cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Yeah, so I do know that one. I just don't know all of it. Know the chorus. Let's see. I don't have 60 to spend on cultural ascent. We could do cultural expansion, but that's going to mean their growth goes skyrocketing. Or we could go cultural descent. I mean, they could take a hit to Utopia, not going to lie. Expanded tourism results in extreme exploitation of poor locals in popular tourist areas. Resentment for rich, thoughtless tourists grows as the classes become ever more divided. Ooh, that sounds perfectly chaotic and awful. Let's go and choose that one. Gain 20 synthesis from it. Oh, look how low their ethical values are now. I think they're actually equal to the prudent now, because otherwise they would have been the highest. Due to higher prices of passenger flights on Earth, only the wealthy could afford the luxury of travel by jet. This fueled resentment among some poorer humans who took to hijacking and sabotaging planes as a symbolic strike against the upper classes. That sounds like an amazing story. I mean, not amazing, it just sounds like... Let's rephrase this. It sounds like a story worth telling. Like, I could see that being a really interesting dystopian story. Kind of like... If you think about Snowpiercer, how the elite are at the front of the train and you have to fight your way up to the front. Kind of like that sort of thing, but with hijacking planes instead. Though I think even 20 years after 9/11, the topic of hijacking planes is still a very sore subject for most. Alright. If alien beings exist, they would have visited Earth long ago, or at least have given us some indication of their existence. Okay. That's what they believe. Is there life after death? Well, you might find out if you keep hijacking planes. Just saying. Let's lower their harm potential a bit. Psychologists of Earth inspire the humans to live peacefully. Oh, that's nice. That's so nice. That's wonderful. An influential human ruler rises to power on Earth. Okay. I'm going to head over. Let's make sure the Damani are not killing each other. They're actually doing okay. The dystopia is real low, but, you know, let's make it even lower. Oil wars has caused suffering and despair among the Damani. I'm really curious because this is, I think, the lowest dystopian I've ever gotten. I wonder if that will actually yield to some results, because I could see, because typically in this game when you playing it, you want to have the highest ethical value you could possibly have, because if you come up to something really bad, a peaceful society could potentially weather it better. However, I think the irony of that is that a peaceful society could weather something really well, but that only works if everybody's in on it. That's kind of the fault of Utopia, right? Is that if everybody's not in on it, society can fall apart just by a handful of people causing a problem. Whereas if you are completely dystopia, or I mean, it says dystopia here, but if you're completely in a completely controlled society, like what we might call dystopia, where your freedoms are taken from you, you're under strict rule of harsh law, then it could be actually better for ultimate disasters, because you have like a totalitarian regime that can just kind of control things quicker, right? It's a really ironic situation. It's not great for everybody, but if it means the survival of everybody. I'm delving too far into V for Vendetta there, because that's the whole reason why they take power, is because they're avoiding a catastrophe. But you know, I digress. Anyway, oil wars cause suffering and despair among the Demoni. Alright. Devoid of any atmosphere, the high plateaus of Vexus are a deadly wasteland. Okay, I mean, I'm gonna lean into dystopia here. Let's try to see if this will actually benefit them or not. It might be terrible for them. Consumption in Kepler. The hunting guilds. Due to sophisticated traps and bows, the hunting of wild animals becomes much easier. Being a hunter turns into a lucrative profession, and a guild system is formed in the big cities of Kepler 4. Until the lions have their own historians, the history of the hunt will always glorify the hunter. Okay. So we could prevent it. Or we can have massive consumption. I don't know if I want massive consumption. But we have to pay for massive consumption. That doesn't make any sense. We can have regular development. So if we prevent it, the hunting guilds turn into a breeding ground for assassins and mercenaries. They quickly become outlawed. Or, hunting rights are reserved only for the hive sovereigns of the Vakai. They employ the expertise of the hunting guilds to decimate the wildlife around their palaces. Sounds okay. I mean, take a hit to resources for 2 synthesis? That sounds like selling your mother for a handful of gold coins, but okay. I mean, might as well prevent it. Doesn't seem... It's not really worth it overall. It just causes more problems. So they are outlying the hunting areas. Okay. Let's see here. We could do... I don't want to lower their growth, per se. The Vakai mourn the death of a beloved hive sovereign. Ooh, the resilient flora grow in spirals on this planet. Okay. I thought that said metal ladies for a second. It's 1,000 metal loads, like lodestones. Will the lights in our sky go dark one day? I don't know. I really don't know. Let's make sure the Demani are okay. Oh, it's up their technology. Oh, new tech age for the humans. Let's do this. They've reached the digital age. Alright. We could go for wisdom. We can go for advancement. We can go for power. Power's only going to yield us 5, but wisdom's going to take 30. I don't know if I want to do either of those things. Growth is bad. Maybe I will go for power, because growth is... They're already at 16% growth. That's going to be hurting us in the overall later. Let's go for power. The digital technology applied to warfare results in guided missiles, enhanced recon, and remotely piloted combat drones with autonomous killing machines just around the corner. Plagued empires could also implement ubiquitous surveillance to keep tabs on their citizens. Okay. If we could just lower the harm potential a bit, that would be great. Each human household is given a cunning projection device uniformly known as the Enchanted Lamp, which granted access to the micro-library as well as improving common scholarship. The devices became status symbols, with families competing to acquire the latest models. Interesting. After respect for elders had been established into law, several dog ecclesias adopted gerontocracy, only replacing their speakers when they died. Other dog ecclesias enacted additional conditions for rulership, including mental and physical fitness, education, and wealth. Oh no, a once powerful plagued administration falls on Earth. Let's lower their growth. I think that'll help. How are the Esh? Injustice! So they're doing real well. Rule of the Elders. Traditionally, the elderly are highly respected in Rygal. Now that larger Esh games are formed... Interesting. The authority of the Elders is put into law. The oldest could be chosen as checkers not because of their wit or skill, but simply because tradition demands it. It is for the elder man to rule and for the younger to submit. So we can prevent it. Or we can have massive injustice. But massive injustice doesn't give us anything, whereas regular development does. So I think I might go for that one. So, the Esh Games. Am I saying that right? Games? I've never heard of games being used to describe a group of people, but okay. Some games become fanatical gerontocracies with varying degrees of success. Others decide on auxiliary methods to choose their checkers. Okay. The Esh can now build stable lairs in the oceans of Rygal 7 and sustain them with aquaculture. Aquaculture age technology provides the Esh access to minerals on Rygal 7's oceans. Conflict between two major Esh games is settled peacefully. Nice. A depleted sea region in Rygal 7 recovers under the care of Esh fish herders. I love the idea of them herding fish. Like, that's... Like this whole undersea version of like what we would do on land. You farm seaweed, you herd fish. It makes sense. Yeah, let's keep their resources rising. Esh coral sculptures represent harmony on Rigel 7. Okay, aquaculture age over. Almost to the next tech age. Remarkable sage celebrated on Rigel 7 for their contributions to Esh society. Are the gods watching over our waters? That's how the Esh talk. Like ethereal ghosts. The Esh reached the Reef Shaper age. I love these names, Reef Shaper. The Esh developed aquaculture, greatly expanding their food supply. They also learned to manipulate coral building organisms for the creation of tools and shelter. That's interesting. I didn't even think about that. You could basically get the coral to build a home for you. We must plant the sea and herd its animals, using the sea as farmers instead of hunters. That is what civilization is all about. Farming, replacing hunting. Okay. Alright, Esh. Let's see here. I kind of want them to have the good stuff. Kind of want to spend 10 to just give them wisdom. Yeah. The Reef Shaper age. The practical study of reef flora and fauna leads to deep knowledge about the oceans of Rigel 7. Alright. Plus, that also gets them closer to the next tech level, so that we can kind of catch them up with everybody else. Where should we head? Let's see if how the Vekai are doing. Potential casualties are so damn high. I guess maybe we should really fix their growth, do the opposite. Do the opposite of what we usually do. Depopulation in Vex. Industrial overfishing. The mechanized harvest of undersea creatures on Vexes depletes ocean biomass to the point of destabilizing the entire ecosystem, an important food source for demonic populations. A huge net is being dragged across the floor. There we go. A huge net is being dragged across the seafloor, destroying everything in its path. Ahead of it bloom undersea forests and their hundreds of thousands of living creatures. Both plant and animal behind it is a desert. Yeah, Margaret Atwood, Canadian novelist. So, I mean, she could have a French accent. I don't know. I don't know enough about Margaret Atwood to know that. But the Demoni definitely do. Okay, so we could prevent it for free, which my gut tells me to do just because of, I mean, really, their growth is at -6, the resources are fine, potential casualties could wipe them out, so I think we want to prevent this. Plus, on top of it, it just hurts me to think of the oceans being decimated that way. The Demoni Sage groups strictly regulates ocean harvest, destabilizing the undersea biomass. Okay. Once powerful Sage group falls on Vexus, let's go ahead and up our resources. Climate adapters establish new resource management methods. Okay. Even if aliens were to visit the Vex system, are we sure we would recognize them? I mean, no. That's kind of the point. They're alien. That's what the name alien means. On Vexus, demonic climate adapters establish new resource management methods. Okay. And I guess we'll take the little dystopia up. And then just take a regular synthesis. Because honestly, don't want to do too bad to them. They're kind of still in a tender stage here. But they are in a new tech age. They're in the cyber age now. With rapid advancements in artificial intelligence and technology-augmented demoni, the civilization undergoes drastic change and reaches new milestones in science, engineering, and the arts. Okay. So, we could advance. That actually would be good. Plus we gain 10 synthesis from that. Why don't we advance? The demoni focus on innovations in engineering. This includes finding the balance between consumption and resource preservation, advancing the infrastructure of the megacities, and exploring the galaxy beyond Vex. Yeah, we haven't had anybody make spaceships yet. That's... Did it read my mind? What happened there? That is the weirdest thing. I was just commenting. It's like, it's weird. We haven't had anybody making spaceships yet. And on Vulcan, they're making spaceships. Interstellar Rocket. After the success of their first spaceflight experiments, the Vulcans are starting a very ambitious project to construct a giant rocket capable of housing many astronauts. The goal is to launch the rocket from the surface of Gilly Sea and send it directly to a faraway star system. Okay. So what age are they in again? They're in the nuclear age, so this could very well be a giant bomb in space. But we could put some money towards it, make it an epic project, and see if at least one of these survives. After a successful launch, the Vulcans become very enthusiastic about spaceflight and launch a swarm of these massive rockets toward the Ross system. Ross. Nobody's on Ross. So they're just going to be populating another place. Okay. Alright. Let's spend the 60. We're at 200 synthesis. Oh, yes. Look at it. I love their space age attire. It's my favorite. I love the glasses. I love the headdress. I love it all. I love the, suckers on their fingers? I don't know what those are. They kind of look like olives, like when you put olives on your fingers. Why do all of those... Okay, yeah, so nothing's in Ross, but they literally look like bombs, don't they? Alright. The Vulcan rocket swarm begins its journey from Gillies to the Ross system. Alright. Hopefully everything goes well. Several Vulcan rocket swarm officers are removed from their posts. That doesn't sound like things are going well, you guys. That sounds like the opposite. Okay, I think keeping growth at a 0 is a good option. Will we reach our destination safely? Several Vulcan rocket swarm officers are removed from their post. What is happening? They're just mutinying immediately. I think let's take a hit to their tech. Does our captain have the wisdom to guide us well? Well, no, you keep removing them and putting new ones in place. That's not a good method. The decorated Vulcan rocket swarm captain retires for active service. Oh gosh, you guys can't keep a leader to save your life. Okay, what's happening? Speak to me. Vulcan growth. Space swingers. As they get further from Gilly Sea and deal with the restrictions of ship life, the crew combats boredom by adapting their value system to allow for more freedom on how they form sexual relationships. So that's what they're worried about. They're worried about taking out all their leaders and then how they can have sex. Got it. Okay. It says, give yourself over to absolute pleasure. Swim the warm waters of sins of the flesh, erotic nightmares beyond any measure, and sensual daydreams to treasure forever. Dr. Frankenfurter, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I didn't even recognize that. That's so funny. Okay. Dr. Frankenfurter. Well, on the one side, I'm all about, like, free love and that sort of thing, right? But on the other side, that's going to be really bad on a ship with limited resources. You've got a fixed income here, you guys. You can't be just having so many kids. Oh my gosh. But at the same time, that kind of sounds like an absolute disaster, and I feel like I should lean into that for this run through. Oh my gosh. Okay. The Vulcans completely free themselves from their social bonds and turn the rocket swarm into a hedonistic love den. As a result, the population spikes. We've got flying orgy bombs going through space here. This is insane. I gotta pick this. I'm picking it. This is a disaster. I'm spending 60 synthesis and also gaining way too much growth for these guys. But the flying orgy bombs through space, that's too funny. I can't not pick that. Oh my god. Okay. Alright. So growth is now up to 11. Resource scarcity in 700 years. Let's start trying to cull the population then. They're freeing themselves from conventional morality and sexual restrictions of the Origin Society. Entire glass ship. Oh, it's a glass ship. Engaged in frequent sexual exploration, raising the population quite rapidly. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. I mean, and they're in a glass ship, so now anybody, I mean, granted they're in the middle of space, but anybody they're flying by would just see just orgies. Like, it's like a peep show flying through space. Oh my god. This is too funny. Oh man. Okay. Let's lower their population. Oh good. Okay, the Vulcan rocket swarm armed astronauts are engaging in military training exercises. In between bouts of hedonistic sex, they are they are engaging in military exploration. Alright. Crew reduction reduces the number of the Vulcan crew. Okay. They had a low level of oxygen. They got a little crazy for a while, but they're pulling it back. They're taming it a bit. The journey may be the noblest Vulcan endeavor of all time. Alright, resources up. I think we need that too. Okay, let's go ahead and add synthesis there. They're losing another leader. I don't think we need to worry about the potential casualty right now. We're just gonna recoup our synthesis here. Lower that growth back to a manageable level here. The Vulcan rocket swarm armed astronauts are engaging in military training training exercises. Alright, Great War threatens Kepler. The Holy Crusades, oh this will be good. A dominant religious faction of the Vakai is claiming the right to invade a distant holy land. They gather many allies to challenge the alleged heathens who live in the divine country of Kepler 4. Armies of volunteer peasants and honor-bound knights, swelling with pious pride and bearing sacred symbols of their banners and armor, thus embark on a glorious pilgrimage. I, or rather the Lord, beseech you as Christ's heralds to publish this everywhere and to purse all people of whatever rank, foot soldiers and knights poor and rich, to carry aid promptly to those Christians and to destroy that vile race from the lands of our friends. Moreover, Christ commands it. Pope Urban. Eek. Holy wars. Okay. Okay, so... Crap. So we find ourselves in a situation where either regular conflict or total war are going to completely wipe out the Vakai. I don't want that. If we can help it. Again, we're putting ourselves on the edge here, but we can help it. We do have 60 synthesis. Even though we spent so much on the orgy, we've got 60 synthesis. We can stop the Holy Crusades there. It's so weird with these. They've got contaminated beasts. We've seen this before, and they almost were wiped out by these contaminated beasts that they're using too. I've never heard of them other than in these events. But, okay. Peace. The holy people of different faiths meet in a great council and negotiate an end to the crusade with a universal doctrine of peaceful coexistence. And there was a sigh of relief. Breathed. Take potential casualties down. Up their tech. They're still in the Steel Age, you guys. How did that happen? They're so busy warring that they're not even getting past the regular ages here. I think let's try to lower their harm potential. I guess probably we should be growing their society a little bit here. I think that might help them overall. Alright. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves with our first spacefaring adventure, even though it is full of sexual heathens, headed to Ross. We've got the Esh beds growing fast. We've just barely saved the Vakai, and the Demoni and human both seem, knock on wood, completely okay for now. So when we come back next time, hopefully, everybody remains alive. We will see. If you want to see what happens next time, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon to be notified of new videos, like this video so it shows up in the YouTube algorithms, and as always, folks, I will see you in the next game.